Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Norhidayah Fitriani, and this video is for my reviewing an English book for junior high school in Indonesia for 7th grade. The title is When English Rings a Bell, that based on the 8th principle by Willy Renandia. The first principle is the privacy of input. Normally, this principle focuses on reading and listening skills, so the input should be in and out in the classroom. The students should be here and see a lot of English in and outside classroom. For the students' book, in this book, the material follow the principle. As example, in the first chapter in the books, they try to introduce about observing and asking question materials with sing a song. The title of that song is How Are You, which means the students listen to the song and try to sing that song together, so they will be familiar with the topic of the material. And for listening skills as the input also, teachers will read the examples and students have to listen carefully for the examples of the activities. For the reading input, the books provided some notes. In the books, it is like a small box that explain the specific words, and also this book provided simple instruction to the students about what they have to do with the picture. And in teacher's book, if I compare, also explain what the teachers as a role model in classroom. They need to speak clearly with a correct pronunciation, intonation, and so on. Such as on pages 33, teachers should be loudly to read the text. Therefore, the students as the addresses or the input, listening skills can get a clear input. And for the second principle is meaning focus output is important, which means to gain student speaking and writing as output skills that will help them to improve their fluency, grammar, enabling them to produce more accurate language. However, in this principle, normally only can apply in a classroom. Another problem also, as a teacher, we cannot force the students speak and write too early, especially in 7th grade. So, in this book, fortunately, provided two skills for students' output, such as speaking and writing. As examples, topic about greeting, the books provided a picture how to greet the others people, such as teachers, friends, parents in a specific situation, such as in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. There is activity in this book that students about this topic, and the instruction in that book is really clear, such as the first instruction, students will listen carefully to the teacher, read the greetings, students will repeat the greetings after the teachers, and they will play the roles of the speakers in the public the picture to improve their speaking with this activity. And for writing skills, as example, in this book provided a short question that students need to fill about students' identity, and it will help them to write a short sentence to improve their writing skill based on their level. And when I try to compare the students' book and the teacher books, is quite the same, because in the teacher's book also explain the way that a teacher should guide their students and give the examples how to play the roles. And for play the role, activities can be individual or also a group. Therefore, students know how to play the roles, not only read the text. In writing activities, teacher not only assess students' assignment, but also evaluate the capital, letter, spelling, and so on. The evidence from this explanation also in that book is in page 32. And for the third principle is do not overteach grammar. In this book, there is no significance of complicated grammar explained. This book only explained to be that related with the topics. That means this book not overteach grammar. As example, in the chapter 2, This Is Me, only explains several parts of basic grammar such as hello, my name is, I am a student of, I live in, I like, my hobby is, or my hobbies are, and etc. Therefore, the book only explains easy grammar or basic grammar that is still related with the topics and the student's interest. In the teacher's book also explains several linguistic elements or structure that teachers need to mention in their teaching process, such as subject, pronouns, I, you, we, they, he, she, it, possessive pronouns, may, his, her, and so on, verb that related with simple present such as have and work. There is no specific grammar that also explained in this teacher's book. For the fourth principle is focus on high frequency word. In students' book, in my opinion, I didn't find that book is focused on high frequency word. I think the reason is because on these books designed for beginner learners, the word that I found in this book only used for different situation, not in different contexts. In teacher's book, also the same that focus of what the teachers teach in simple words, such as the name of members of family, the names of days, things in classrooms, times, date, and so on. Because the focus of this book for beginners, so that's why the book didn't explain the same word that can use for different contexts. The word that often used for this book are relative for students and easy for them. The fifth principle, teach words in meaningful chunks. In students' books, I only can find a little chunk such as nothing, schoolyard, very large, it's big enough, and etc. In teacher's book, I cannot find that teachers teach words in meaningful chunks. In teacher's book, I only find several words that teachers can teach, such as to be, am, is, are, some verbs like have, work for simple present tense, and several specific words that related with the each chapters in that book. Sixth principle, focus on fluency development. Based on what I already read, this principle focus on reading and listening skills. In the student's book, each chapters of this book also includes reading and listening. The teachers read the materials or some conversation, and the students need to listen the explanation. In teacher's book, also explain that teacher should read out loud to make the students understand about the word or sentence in the topic and know how to pronounce it. The teacher also need to consider the intonation, pronounce that word correctly. Therefore, students can get the best input and improve students' listening fluency. For the seventh principle is motivation is key to language learning. In students' books, there are several activities that motivate the students to learn English, such as in speaking skill, the activities are dance, role play with their friends, play games to remember English vocabulary, singing, and also it's like about month topic, and kind of those activities help students motivate themselves because they not only learn the theory but also practice how to pronounce the word correctly, how to memorize with games, learn the intonation with role play, and etc. It helps them not boring in classroom while teaching process and several tasks that is matched with students' level or their English skills. In teacher's book is also related with the student's book because in the teacher's book also explains several methods that teacher can do to help their students have higher interest and motivate to learn English, such as using PPP lesson, teaching learning circle, behavioristic, content-based learning, and so on. That the explanation very specific in teachers' books, so teachers can choose the best methods that they can use and also consider it with the time allocation, purpose, media that available in that school, search of the materials, the topic about, and the situation that students have. If the teachers can choose the best methods and consider all of the aspects, students can increase their motivation to learn English. Good teachers can often lead to have motivation, which is the eighth principle or the last principle is amount and intensity of instruction go in a hand. In the student's book, the allocation time for instruction didn't take a lot of time, so that it still has have the intensity of time. It's only take like 10 until 15 minutes to give the examples and explain or read the instruction about the topic. In the teacher's book, the time is not optimal because teacher should taking the attendance list and rearranging furniture in classroom, and also to give the students assessment. Maybe this can take up substantial amounts of time, often reducing the intensity of instruction to give a lesson. In the teacher's book also explain how teacher should give the opening, introduce what the topics that the teachers will teach, and after that the students do their activities. In my opinion, these activities take like 15 minutes or even more. It based on what I find in this book, but we never know the reality in class. It can be more longer than 15 minutes. So it will waste the students' time and the intensity of learning English also. So that's all what explanation that I can say, or the review about two books, teacher's book and also student's book for 7 grades that I use, and also based on its principle. And I'm sorry if there's a lot of mistake with my pronunciation or grammar, and I hope you understand about this review. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.